Hello hunters, and welcome back to my story. Let's begin part 18. As the intense battle between Atka and Dragot kicks off, other battles are about to end. Alexis is able to defeat Foray once again, and Spirit has no trouble against Boku. Magi also uses his light magic to overpower Hunter and his shadow magic. These three Spriggan are defeated once again, and Alkest's magic power returns to him while he's still unconscious, causing Jake to come back once more. He senses his siblings at the castle, so he heads there as well. Then Alexis realizes that she completely forgot about retrieving the ultimate weapon of Zuso, so she rushes back to the ruins to get it. She takes a teleporter atop Cherokee Mountain so she doesn't have to navigate Terry Tundra and Terry Temple again, and she goes straight towards the ruins. Meanwhile, German, with the now unconscious King Zeus, arrives at Cherokee Castle, where most of the alliance is waiting. They hang him up on a wall with his arms and legs bound by magic-proof chains, and wait for him to wake up so they can interrogate him. Then Jake shows up and his four siblings greet him. Everyone there has already been healed at this point, so now Jake gets bathed in miracle water, and suddenly the dark aura surrounding him disappears. It turns out miracle water can make the undead living again, so now Jake's life is no longer tied to Alkest's, and he can live a normal life now. Meanwhile, Atka is in a desperate struggle against Dragot, and he can't deal with his vast array of spells for long. He's able to hold his own, but if he gets tired, he's done for. Spirit and Magi decide to go back to the others as well, trusting that Atka can either win on his own or with Alexis' help. They arrive and get healed up, and then they wait for Zeus to wake up. Michelle asks if that punishment is too cruel for Zeus. Then Spirit remembers Atka and Magi being hung up the same way. Then he says that it's too good for him. Hans remembers his mother, and he agrees. Then Jake steps in and says that they shouldn't be doing this, because they were taught to treat hate with kindness. But then Spirit says that although that may be the case, there's some people that can't be reasoned with. Unlike the 6 of them in gear. In this case, measures like this are the only option. Then Roshan says that Spirit's right, and he assures them that they have no intentions of killing Zeus. Then he brings up that Zeus is responsible for the deaths of thousands, including their parents. So yes, he should be getting worse treatment than this, but he's not. Jake and the others understand now, and everyone continues to wait. Meanwhile, Alexis has made it back to the ruins, and finally uses the key to open the door. At last, she enters the Zuso temple, and begins to explore it. While that's happening, Atka's fight with Dragot continues. Things aren't looking too good for Atka. He hasn't done much damage to Dragot, and he's beginning to run out of stamina. Back at the Cherokee Castle, Zeus has woke up at last, and now the interrogation begins. Alexis has made it to the end of Zuso Temple as well, and there she finds the ultimate weapon. She finds a teleporter that takes her straight to the Orange Temple, but it's only one way. Then she takes a teleporter to the top of Cherokee Mountain and begins to rush to Atka with the hammer in hand. Back at the castle, Spirit asks Zeus why he wants to rule the world, and why he starts wars and kills people for no reason. He says that it's because it's Zephyr's will. A large amount of conflict and death can break his seal, and with Zephyr by his side, he can do anything he wants in the whole universe. This is why he wanted power. Spirit says that it's not going to happen. Then Zeus admits that things haven't gone according to plan, and his only hope left is Goo2. Then Spirit asks once again where Goo2 is being held. He refuses to talk, so they have to take greater measures to get him to. Meanwhile, Atka's about to not have enough stamina to keep his ultimate form. He's about to lose. Just then, Alexis arrives with the ultimate weapon. She throws it to Atka, and Dragot tells him that only Alexis can wield the hammer and he'll die if he touches it. But when Atka catches it, nothing happens. Dragot is confused at this. Then he gets hit by the full force of the hammer and sent flying through a mountain. Dragot gets back up from the attack and goes back over to them and asks what's happening. Then suddenly the hammer breaks while Atka's holding it. It's shattered into pieces, and Atka begins to absorb some sort of power. Both Atka and Dragot are very confused. Then Alexis explains what's going on. She says that the Secrets of the Universe book doesn't give all the details on this weapon, and that other things about it were on a mural in the temple. It is true that it's very powerful, and only people with the special energy can wield it, but as she learned in the temple, there's more to it than that. First of all, this energy can actually be shared with others through an act of true love. So Atka was able to hold the weapon thanks to what happened back at the forest. The next and final thing is that if the wielder uses the weapon's full power, it will shatter and then they will absorb its power. Everything that just happened was all part of Alexis' plan that she came up with after learning this info. Now that Atka has absorbed the power of the Absolute Armageddon Hammer, he is capable of using very powerful magic power, specifically ice magic. Now Alexis uses water magic to create a water tornado that holds Dragot in place. Then Atka uses ice magic to climb up the tornado and finish off Dragot with a double ice blade slash attack. Now Dragot is defeated at last. All 9 Spriggan, as well as all of their troops and Zeus's troops and disciples, have been defeated. with Zeus captured as well. Goo is the only potential threat left. Now Atka and Alexis return to the castle, and once they're there and healed up, the entire Alliance is now together in one place again. Aside from some chimeras, the Alliance even has 10 new members in German, Magi, Enzo, Rose, Lily, Jake, Gerald, John, Josh, and Joel. With everyone there, they once again ask Zeus about Goo2. Finally, Zeus decides to talk. He says that he has a branch of his army stationed with Goo2 at Lunar Island. Lunar Island is a large island off the coast of the Rao Sea, and that is where the final phases of Project Goo are happening, and where the new Goo will be unleashed. Jerry knows of a passage that goes straight from the castle to the island. They decide to only send a few people there in case Zeus's army and the Spriggan return and invade the city. Atka, Alexis, Spirit, Magi, Gear, and German go to the Cherokee Temple and take a secret passage to Lunar Island, found at the end of the temple. Once they get to the island, the last of Zeus's army is there, and there's a big egg in the middle of the island, which is holding Goo. At this point, it's only a matter of time before Goo emerges from the egg. The 6 warriors all fight and defeat the entire Zeuso army branch there, then they try to stop Goo from being released, but they're too late. The new and improved Goo emerges from the egg, and now he's ready to attack. He doesn't seem to be much stronger than the old Goo though, strangely enough. He's still very weak, but then 12 pieces come off of him and fly off towards the mainland. These 12 pieces all catch the strongest members of the Zeuso Empire, the 3 disciples, Horatio, Ragnarok, and Crash, and the 9 Spriggan, Dragot, Viray, Boku, Outcast, Hunter, Joji, Soul, Peace, and Nardix. They're all brought up to Goo and then absorbed. Now he's really gotten stronger than anyone there. Now he'll truly be a threat. Zeus notices this and tells the Alliance that they failed. Then a massive army shows up outside the city. It's every last branch of Zeus's army except for the Lunar Island branch, and including the Dark Spirit Grunts, all in one spot. Now all of the Alliance members who are currently on Earth alongside the Cherokee Royal Army take on this massive army, and they let Zeus hanging inside the castle while that's happening. While that's happening, Goo fires a blast at the island and it creates a massive explosion. Atka and the others take no damage because Spirit formed a barrier around them, but all the unconscious soldiers were killed by the blast. Atka attacks Goo, and now the battle begins. Goo is able to give them all a hard time, and the battle is a desperate struggle for all of them. Where the battle against the army is happening, Roshan decides to withdraw and fly towards Lunar Island to help the others. On the island, the battle's gone on for quite some time, and Goo seems to have the upper hand. Goo knocks Atka to the ground and is about to stab him, but then Roshan flies in at Mach speed and knocks Goo away. This kind of turnaround is exactly what they needed, and now they all land a series of coordinated attacks on Goo, and Atka ends it with the Bane of Darkness blast towards the Earth. Goo ends up deep underground and fires a blast towards Earth's core. Then he flies back up. The ground starts shaking because the core's been damaged, and now Earth is about to explode. Goo tries to blame it on Atka, but Roshan assures him that he's lying. This Goo has DNA from every past hero and villain, including his old self, so he immediately realizes that Roshan used his sixth sense as a chimera to know this. Everyone on the island has suddenly lost hope once they realize that Earth is about to explode. Everyone outside of Cherokee City is confused at the shaking. Buildings in the different cities, towns, and villages start to crumble now too. Earth is mere minutes from exploding now. Spirit reminds Roshan that he had a backup plan in case something like this happened. Then Roshan uses his telepathy, magic ability that him and the other chimeras learned from training with Eldritch for 6 months, to contact Goo2, the one who's waiting at Eldon's Fountain of Wishes. He tells him that things have gone bad and that he needs to use a wish to get everyone on Earth to Eldon. Then Spirit tells him that it'll be everyone except him and Goo, because he wants to stay behind and make sure Goo gets destroyed. He assures them that he can survive in the vacuum of space, so with that and his barrier magic, he'll be able to destroy Goo. Goo has just been laughing this whole time because blowing up the planet and killing everyone has been his plan all along. Then he hears Roshan and Spirit talking and suspects that they're up to something, so he begins to charge at them. Before he can attack them though, Atka freezes him. Then Goo2 makes the wish. Zeus already died from falling debris however, so he wouldn't have been teleported anyway. Everyone is now on Eldon except for Spirit and Goo. Earth explodes and Spirit uses the barrier to survive it. Goo gets hit head on, but he regenerates once it's over, and now he's back for more. Silver Spirit and the weakened Goo begin to fight in outer space. Meanwhile, everyone is now in one place. This is their army hears of their leader's death and they all surrender, even the Dark Spirits. And they say that they were just following orders. Roshan confirms that they're right. Then they see that they're just outside the great city of Eldon. Junior goes over to greet everyone, and he tells them that every civilian from Earth is already in the city. Everyone else enters as well. It's quite crowded, but they decide to stay there until they get word from the Spirit that Goo has been destroyed. Then they'll make another wish to restore Earth, then another wish to teleport everyone back to Earth. Atka heads out to see the sights, but then Goo2 crashes into the city wall. Atka helps him back on his feet and asks him what happened. Goo2 replies, "It's him." Thanks for watching part 18 of this story. Stay tuned for part 19 to find out what attacked Goo2. I'll see you guys then. Happy hunting.